simulating things that no one has ever done before, such as dropping millions of tons of trash into an active volcano, sending phone cases plunging into the depths of the Mariana Trench, or even launching all of the world's plastic waste into outer space. Might seem far-fetched, even impossible. However, where do these seemingly absurd ideas come from? Well, a few weeks ago, we posed a question to the What If community, asking for your thoughts on where we should dispose of the world's trash. As expected, you delivered some wildly creative and unexpected suggestions. Now, we're about to explore some of these ideas, presenting them to you like never before. But before we get too deep into those experiments, let's start by simulating one right here. We're going to drop a piece of copper into melted glass, heated to over 1,000 degrees Celsius. This temperature is almost as hot as lava, and it should give us a fascinating glimpse into what might happen if we were to throw our trash into a real volcano. This experiment is performed with copper, a durable metal that will react to the extreme heat. However, what if I threw something else in, like my phone case, which is made of plastic? The results would be much different, and not in a good way. The plastic would release harmful chemicals, filling the room with toxic fumes, and in all likelihood, we'd be in serious trouble. That was a pretty cool demonstration, but it's time to crank things up a notch. What would happen if we performed this experiment inside a real volcano, and instead of a small piece of copper or a phone case, we used a massive amount of trash? Thanks to our super talented video effects team, we can simulate that scenario and see the outcome. This is a representation of you, or rather your trash, the amount of waste that the average person generates in just 1 year. Now, we're about to throw all of it into a volcano. But wait a minute, where's the volcano? Right on cue. Thank you, VFX team. Now, this volcano contains lava that is over 1,200 degrees Celsius, and we're about to drop 680 kilograms of trash into it. To help you visualize just how much that is, picture a polar bear, but instead of fur and claws, it's made entirely of garbage. Yes, that's right, thanks again, VFX team. So, what happens if we were to drop this much trash into a real volcano? You're in for a spectacle. As the garbage hits the molten lava, a large explosion is triggered, and here's why. The lava inside the volcano is extremely hot, while the trash we throw in is relatively cool by comparison. The sudden contact of these two materials creates an explosive reaction, resulting in pressurized, acidic steam shooting into the air. That explosion was intense, but we're not stopping there. We still have way more trash to dispose of. In fact, I've got an even crazier idea in mind. Let me talk to Marina about it. Marina, the animation you made of one person's trash was fantastic, but I'm thinking of taking things up several notches. Instead of just one person's trash, let's visualize the trash generated by 20 million people. Yes, I'm serious. Imagine New York City's garbage for an entire year. What if we rolled all of that up into one gigantic ball and hurled it into a volcano? Marina is up for the challenge, but first, we need to figure out just how much trash we're talking about here. The number? A staggering 14 million tons of garbage. Marina says she'll need a bit of time to calculate everything, but in the meantime, let's keep going. While we wait for Marina to crunch the numbers, let's shift our focus across the globe. But before we dive into that, it's worth pausing to ask, why are we even considering these outlandish methods of trash disposal? The reality is that the world is facing a monumental trash crisis. Plastic waste is choking the oceans, and food waste is piling up in staggering quantities. Hundreds of tons of it, in fact. The scale of the problem is much larger than most people realize. To tackle this mounting issue, our friends at Case Defy have been working hard to find sustainable solutions, but more on that later. For now, we're going to take matters into our own hands and explore some unorthodox methods of waste disposal. That's why we invited you, the What If community, to help us brainstorm the most creative ways to get rid of our trash, from food waste and plastic packaging to old, discarded phone cases. One idea from the community really stood out. Someone suggested, "Hey Peter, what if we dumped all the trash from our oceans into the Mariana Trench?" I love the way you think. Did you know that over 14 million tons of trash end up in the ocean every year? That's equivalent to more than 8 trillion pieces of plastic floating around, clogging up our waterways. And one major contributor to this problem is old phone cases. With over 1.5 billion phone cases discarded annually, it's no wonder they are part of this global crisis. So, how about we deal with this issue by dumping all those old phone cases into the deepest part of the ocean? Marina, let's take this simulation even deeper, literally. We're headed down 11,000 meters to the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Being the deepest point on Earth, the trench might seem like an ideal place to dispose of 1.5 billion phone cases. It should easily handle that much waste, right? In theory, the trench could hold over 1 trillion phone cases. But as we drop more and more waste into this oceanic abyss, the phone cases get crushed under the immense pressure. To put it into perspective, the pressure at the bottom of the trench is comparable to the weight of 2,000 elephants stacked on top of each other, all pressing down on your head. As hundreds of millions of phone cases pile up in the trench, the environmental impact becomes catastrophic. Toxic materials leach into the surrounding water, poisoning marine life and damaging fragile coral reefs. And let's not forget about the microplastics that would inevitably seep into the ocean, further polluting the ecosystem. So, what if instead of dumping trash into the ocean, we tried something even more ambitious, sending it into space? I wonder what would happen if we launched our garbage into the sun. But let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet. First, let's check in with our progress on that giant ball of trash that's destined for the volcano. Oh, it looks like they're still working on assembling it. No worries, while we wait, let me take a minute to explain how we're addressing the phone case waste problem. If I ever have to get rid of an old phone case, I'm sending mine to Casetify. They run the world's largest phone case recycling program. All you have to do is send them your old case, and they'll upcycle it into a brand new one. Not only does this keep phone cases out of landfills, but it also helps reduce pollution. Plus, you get a fresh, eco-friendly phone case in return. Without Casetify, this video wouldn't be possible, so be sure to check out their website to learn how you can recycle your old phone cases and help the environment in the process. You might even end up with a cooler phone case than before, just like mine. Okay, it looks like our massive ball of trash is finally ready to be thrown into the volcano. Let's see what happens. This time, instead of simply creating an explosion inside the volcano, the sheer volume of trash creates a massive eruption that shoots hundreds of meters into the sky. Lava spills out of the volcano, spreading across nearby towns, and the pollution? Oh, the pollution. Without any kind of filtration system in place, the toxic fumes released by the burning trash would spread over a wide area, poisoning the air for miles around. This definitely does not look good. All right, I think it's safe to say that was a terrible idea. But don't worry, I'll give you all another shot at this. Oh wait, now that's an idea that's truly out of this world. Literally. What if, instead of throwing our trash into volcanoes or ocean trenches, we launched it into outer space and directed it toward the sun? Specifically, let's focus on plastic waste. There's an overwhelming amount of plastic being produced and discarded every year, about 40 million tons, just in the United States alone. What if we strapped all of that plastic waste to a rocket and sent it hurtling toward the sun? Surely, that's the ultimate solution for getting rid of it. But is it feasible? Marina, can you simulate this for us? Sure, but I'll need a bit of help first. Can you collect a bag of plastic trash and weigh it? You're serious? All right, I'll be right back. Finally, let's do this. While I'm out collecting trash, let's take a moment to review some of the other suggestions you've submitted. One idea was to use stomach acid to dissolve the trash. While stomach acid is strong, it wouldn't be able to break down all of our garbage, and even if it could, where would we get enough of it to make a difference? Another idea was to send our trash into a black hole. While that sounds intriguing, it's theoretically impossible and would likely kill anyone involved. Next, how about sending it back in time? That would just cause even more problems for the world. Okay, Marina, I've gathered enough trash. It's heavy, but I'll send you the exact weight shortly. So, how would we actually go about launching our plastic waste into space? To put things into perspective, it would take 1 million bags full of plastic trash to make a dent. Sending that much waste into space would require around 640,000 rockets. But here's where things get tricky. Sending a rocket to the sun isn't as straightforward as it sounds. The Earth orbits the sun at a speed of 30 kilometers per second, and in order to launch a rocket toward the sun, you need to slow it down enough to escape Earth's orbit and enter the sun's gravitational pull. Stopping a rocket's sideways momentum is no small feat, and timing it just right would be nearly impossible. So, sending all of our trash into the sun doesn't look so promising after all. But wait, this is what it would look like, at least in theory. Yeah, it's not a great solution. It turns out these outrageous ideas for trash disposal aren't as effective as they initially seem. Perhaps the best thing we can do to address the world's trash problem is the simplest one: recycle. It might sound too good to be true, but recycling actually works. If everyone made an effort to recycle their waste, we'd see a dramatic reduction in pollution, healthier ecosystems, and more vibrant natural resources. Plus, recycling can lead to the creation of cool new products, like these awesome phone cases. Shout out once again to Casetify for helping to make this video possible. So instead of risking our lives with crazy schemes or wasting money on far-fetched solutions, let's all commit to recycling and doing our part to make the world a cleaner, greener place. Hopefully, we can all play a small role in solving the world's trash crisis. But what challenge should we tackle next? That, my friends, is a question for another episode of What If?